On July 1st, 2026, the most consequential trade vote in the history of North America will take place, and almost no one is talking about it. On July 1st, 2026, the United States, Mexico, and Canada must sit down and decide the fate of a deal that controls nearly $2 trillion in annual trade. A deal that has quietly reshaped supply chains, built entire cities, and repositioned Mexico as one of the most strategically important economies on the planet. What happens on July 1st will determine whether Mexico enters its golden economic era or whether the single greatest trade framework ever built in the hemisphere begins to collapse. This is the USMCA review, and this is why it changes everything. Let's go back. In 1994, 3 countries signed the North American Free Trade Agreement, better known as NAFTA, and for nearly 3 decades, it functioned as the backbone of North American commerce. It wasn't perfect, but it wired the 3 economies together in a way that had never been done before on the continent. Then came 2020. Donald Trump renegotiated it. Stronger labor provisions, tighter content rules, new digital trade chapters. The New Deal was called the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, also known as the USMCA. And buried inside this new agreement, inside Article 34.7, was a small clause that nobody paid much attention to at the time, a sunset clause. The agreement was given a 16-year lifespan, but every 6 years, all 3 governments would have to sit down and jointly decide, do we want to keep this? If they agree, the clock resets to 16 years. If even one country says no, the clock doesn't reset. It starts counting down. And if nothing is resolved by 2036, the entire agreement expires. That 6-year review begins July 1st, 2026, the first of its kind in the history of any U.S. free trade agreement ever signed. Before we get into what's at stake, you need to understand the sheer size of what we're talking about. The United States, Mexico, and Canada together represent 30% of global GDP, nearly a third of the entire world's economic output, a market of 500 million people. In 2024, goods and services traded within North America totaled an estimated $1.93 trillion. That's almost $2 trillion flowing between 3 neighboring countries in a single year. Mexico and Canada are the United States' number 1 and number 2 trading partners. And here's the part that often gets overlooked. Mexico passed China as America's top trading partner in 2023 for the first time since 2006. That is not a small headline. That is a fundamental restructuring of global trade. And the investment numbers back it up. In 2025 alone, Mexico attracted over $40 billion in foreign direct investment, the highest figure in the country's recorded history, a 10.8% increase from the previous year. Automotive manufacturing, electronics, medical devices, logistics, AI infrastructure, all flooding into states like Nuevo León, Querétaro, Guanajuato, and Chihuahua. In Q1 of 2026, foreign direct investment hit another record, $23.6 billion invested into Mexico in a single quarter. Manufacturing exports from Mexico to the U.S. rose by $150 billion since 2021, reaching $535 billion in 2025. And approximately 77% of all Mexican exports now qualify as USMCA compliant, up from just 42% in the agreement's early years. That number alone tells you how deeply integrated the supply chain has become. And all of it is now sitting on the table on July 1st. And this is the issue that is going to define the entire negotiation. China. When the US started imposing massive tariffs on Chinese goods, first under the first Trump administration, then escalating further in 2025, Chinese manufacturers needed a new route into the American market, and many of them found it through Mexico. Chinese companies leased over 5 million square meters of Mexican warehouse and industrial space, set up local operations, hired Mexican workers, and began shipping goods through Mexico to the United States, often qualifying for preferential treatment under USMCA rules. Washington has a name for this strategy. They call it backdoor. Critics call it Mexico washing, and US policymakers are furious about it. The Alliance for American Manufacturing described it directly, stating that the USMCA has inadvertently funneled significant backdoor benefits to China, with Chinese firms using Mexico to evade US tariffs. The Trump administration used the USMCA review process as the moment to shut this down. Now here's the nuance. Not everything China-linked coming through Mexico is illegal. In many cases, companies genuinely relocate production, hire local labor, and meet the rules of origin requirements. It exists in a legal gray area, but Washington has signaled clearly, gray areas are over. In January 2026, Mexico took a dramatic step to demonstrate its alignment with the United States and imposed new tariffs of up to 35% on 1,500 product categories from China and other Asian countries without free trade agreements, specifically designed to curb Chinese companies using Mexican soil as a tariff bypass. BYD, the Chinese electric vehicle giant that had announced plans to build a factory in Mexico, canceled, pulled back entirely amid the geopolitical pressure. Mexico has chosen its side, but the question now is that enough for Washington? Let's get into the mechanics of what actually happens on July 1st. Under Article 34.7, the three governments must make a formal decision. There are three paths forward. Path 1. All three countries confirm in writing that they wish to continue the agreement. The USMCA is extended for 16 more years, to 2042. The next review would happen in 2032. Certainty is restored. Investment flows freely. This is the best case scenario. Path 2. The parties cannot reach consensus, or one country signals it wants renegotiation. The USMCA enters a cycle of annual reviews. The agreement doesn't end immediately. It remains in force, but every single year, the uncertainty returns. Every year, investors have to ask, is this deal still alive? USMCA compliance becomes the only reliable shield. And that sustained uncertainty, year after year, is enough to scare away billions in long-term investment commitments. Path 3. One country, and realistically, we're talking about the United States, chooses to withdraw entirely under Article 34.6. This triggers a maximum 6-month notice period. The agreement collapses. North America reverts to standard World Trade Organization tariff schedules. That means tariffs of 3%, 5%, sometimes higher across thousands of product categories. For Mexico, whose economy is 75% trade dependent, this is not a slowdown. This is a crisis. Most analysts place Path 3 at low probability, but the fact that it's even on the table is itself a historic departure from where we were 5 years ago. The Trump administration has been crystal clear about what it's bringing July 1st. This is not a routine review. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick confirmed that Trump intends to renegotiate the agreement, and the demands go well beyond tariff mechanics. On trade, Washington wants stricter automotive rules of origin. Under the current USMCA, 75% of a vehicle's value must originate in North America, up from NAFTA's 62.5%. The US wants to push that number higher, particularly around electric vehicles, batteries, and critical minerals, where Chinese source components currently run deep in the supply chain. Additionally, 40 to 45% of auto production must be made by workers earning at least $16 per hour, a provision designed to level the labor cost gap between the United States and Mexico. On China, the US wants formal transshipment rules, specifically legal language defining what counts as Chinese circumvention and mechanisms to penalize it. The era of ambiguity and rules of origin is over. The Trump administration has explicitly tied the USMCA review to non-trade issues: migration, the fentanyl crisis, continental defense, cartel designations. The review has become a multi-purpose pressure tool. Mexico's walking into the most complex diplomatic negotiation it has faced in a generation, and its entire economic trajectory depends on the outcome. So who specifically is exposed here? Automotive is the most critical. Around 5 million North American jobs are tied to the automotive sector. A single car part can cross the US-Mexico border 7 or more times during production. Tighten the rules of origin even marginally, and billions in manufacturing costs are added overnight. Mexico assembled vehicles for BMW, Volkswagen, General Motors, Ford, Audi, Kia, all of it at risk if the rules of the game change. Electronics is next. Mexico has become a major hub for semiconductor assembly, medical devices, and consumer electronic manufacturing. Products with significant Chinese origin components are now under enhanced scrutiny. The entire electronic nearshoring thesis depends on clear, stable USMCA access. Agriculture is underappreciated in this conversation. Mexico is the largest export market for American agricultural products. Any disruption to USMCA tears in both directions. US farmers lose their best customer. Mexico loses its food supply reliability. Medical devices represent one of Mexico's fastest growing export industries. Nuevo León and Chihuahua have become global centers for surgical and diagnostic equipment manufacturing. USMCA certifications are the foundation of that entire supply chain. And then there's energy. Steel, aluminum, copper, all subject to tariffs that are already running at 50% outside USMCA protection. A weakened USMCA means higher costs for the infrastructure backbone of nearshoring itself. The sectors that were built on USMCA certainty are the sectors most vulnerable to USMCA uncertainty. Here is the bigger picture for Mexico. Mexico did not arrive at this moment by accident. For 30 years, through NAFTA, through USMCA, it methodically positioned itself as the manufacturing bridge between the world and the United States. It built industrial corridors, it trained engineers, it developed logistics infrastructure. The nearshoring boom is real. The investment is real. The momentum is real. But all of it, every dollar of foreign direct investment, every factory announcement, every supply chain relocation decision is calibrated against one assumption: that USMCA remains intact. President Claudia Sheinbaum has made USMCA preservation the top economic priority of her administration. Her Secretary of Economy launched formal private sector consultations in early 2026. It is aligning itself with the US position on China more than at any point in its modern history, because Mexico understands something fundamental. The USMCA is not just a trade deal. It is the architecture that makes Mexico's entire economic vision possible. Without it, the nearshoring narrative collapses. The foreign direct investment pipeline pauses. The manufacturing future that Mexico has been building toward for a decade goes into question. But with it, extended, renewed, locked into 2042, Mexico doesn't just survive the new global trade war, it wins it. July 1st, 2026 is not just a date on a trade calendar. It is one of the most consequential economic moments Mexico has ever faced. That is when we find out which direction North America goes. Whether the most integrated trade bloc in the world deepens its roots or begins to crack at the foundation. Whether Mexico's economic rise accelerates into something historic or hits its most serious wall in a generation. And this is Mexico Insider. Thanks for watching.